Well, I'm delighted this afternoon to have with me Elizabeth McNamer. Perhaps you could tell us a little about yourself.
Yes, okay.
Okay. Go ahead.
All right, go ahead. Yes, my name is Elizabeth McNamer, and I teach at Rocky Mountain College. I teach religious studies. And my main interest is in the historical Jesus. By that I mean the Jesus who walked on this earth, who intermingled with others of his time, and what he was like to live in at that time. And especially, of course, my interest has been in Bethsaida, because he visited Bethsaida so often. It's mentioned more often than any other town in Israel, with the exception of Jerusalem and Capernaum. I went there with my family to Israel in 1980, and we went to all the places associated with Jesus, but there was no Bethsaida, and nobody could explain. It has never been found. Well, a few years later, I was at a conference, and my friend Rabbi Richard Freund was there, and I said to him, "Richard, what are you doing this summer?" And he said, "I'm going to dig at Bethsaida." And I said, "You can't dig at Bethsaida. There is no Bethsaida." And he says, "Yes, it has been found." And he said, "Why don't you get a group together and come and dig with us?" Well, okay, I did exactly that, and took some students from Rocky and people from the town who were interested, and I continued doing that for 20 years. And the result of it is in my book here that is called After 20 Years of Digging in Bethsaida, Insight into the Historical Jesus. Now, what you're seeing here, you're seeing a street. This is the only street in the world that we know that Jesus walked. And it was unearthed by people from Billings. I've taken hundreds of people from Billings during that time, and this is where they have excavated, and this is the only place. Now, why do I say that? Because Bethsaida was lost for 2,000 years. All the other places associated with Jesus were all at some point destroyed, but were rebuilt. But Bethsaida was not. So what we are finding at Bethsaida is what it was like at the time of Jesus.
Mm-hmm. You're mind reading my questions. You are doing wonderfully. So this is so well preserved because it was lost.
Yes.
People hadn't been there and walking on it and excavating or rebuilding over the top of it.
There was piles of dirt on top of this. We removed all of them.
But nobody had come and disturbed the site for 2,000 years almost.
Yes, for 2,000 years, yes.
So it's an astonishing story.
Yes.
So this book then is the sum of what you learned. And
yes, it's the sum of what I've learned. But we know, for instance, in Scripture that Jesus associated with fishermen, and it just used to be presumed that fishermen were very poor people. That was not the case at all. When we start excavating in a fisherman's house, we find golden jewelry that they were giving their wives. We find that they were middle-class businessmen. They were very far from being poor. And to me, that's very significant. As it turns, and so I did a lot of study on fishing at the time of Jesus, and fishing was the biggest industry in Galilee at the time. And the fishermen, as I say, were fairly well off. They used to employ others to do the fishing for them, and then they would sell the fish, and they would, now this is very interesting, I think, you had to sell, there were laws about how you sold fish. You had to sell it right off the boat while there was water still on it. And if, for instance, you didn't sell all the fish, what they did was they took the fish down to a place called Magdala. The other name for Magdala is Terekea, which means dried fish. They had a factory there for drying the fish, and it was exported by the fishermen to various parts of the world. It was exported to Rome. It was very wanted in Rome, fish from Galilee, to Damascus, to all of these places. And I find that usually we're told that the fishermen followed Jesus. I think it was just the opposite. Jesus followed the fishermen, because you find that most of the places from which they exiled, they sold their fish, were places that Jesus went to. How's that? I mean, I find that in itself very interesting.
It is fascinating.
Yes.
Yeah.
But so many other things that you find about Jesus while you're there it's incredible.
I think the question's superfluous, but maybe you could say, who might be the audience for this book?
The audience for this book is anybody who's interested in Jesus himself. He spent so much time here. 8 of the apostles came from here. Now, if 8 of your 12 best friends come from one place, it obviously was very important to you. And all of the things we can find out, I mean, the things I find, for instance, women's work. People often say, well, why are women not mentioned more frequently in the Bible? Well, for heaven's sake, the work they had to do. What we have found in their kitchens, the women used to spend about 16 hours a day just working. They didn't have time to do anything else.
Yes.
Things like this. Well, this morning at breakfast, I felt I picked up some flax seeds. We have found so many flax seeds at Bethsaida. And flax is linen is made from flax. That we took over a biologist, whatever, and he said they must have had a linen factory here. We found so much of it. But now flaxseed has become important, people say, for our health. It's very good to eat. Bethsaida was also known as a place of health. Bethsaida, the name Beth just means a house of. And it was a place people would go to for good health. Now, Jesus cured so many people at Bethsaida. This is important, I think.
So anybody interested in the life of Jesus who would be, I would think this would be a very wide audience.
Oh, indeed, indeed.
Yes.
He really comes alive when you're
right.
in Bethsaida. You can just sort of see him walking around and what he did. I mean, we find nails in Bethsaida, which were Roman nails, with which he eventually was crucified. He comes alive. In Bethsaida. Yes.
I agree. One more thing I wanted to ask. You're
Yes.
a member of our bookstore?
Oh, of course.
Why are you a member?
Oh, I was just thrilled that there was going to be a bookstore downtown. I'm tired of having to go out to the west for everything. You leave home. A bookstore should be within walking distance,
But it is for you.
I think, of
Yes.
your home. And it's a place where community gathers too, and I think that we're losing a sense of community. But bookstores and libraries are the places where we have community.
Yes.
How's that?
That's
And
great.
just delighted to have this place downtown where you can feel sort of at home.
Well, thanks so much. I'm so glad that you were able to come in today.
Okay, thank
Okay.
you for having me.
Thank you.
And come and get a copy of this book.
Indeed.
Thank you.
Good.
Okay.
Yep. Wonderful. Well, and you didn't think you'd have anything to say.
I what?
You thought you wouldn't have anything to say.
Oh, no, but there's so much to say. I just don't know which to start. And now you're going to do Meg?
Yes.
Okay, I'll move.
I'm going to be much appreciated.